Good morning, everybody. Over the next few weeks, you're likely to be tempted to get off track when it comes to your health. While experts say it's okay to enjoy the holidays in moderation, don't let this season derail your health habits. Mandy Gaither has some ways to have a happy and healthy holiday season.
It's a season of joy, but also holiday goodies, gatherings, and many times overindulgence.
People sort of fall off the wagon, as most people would say, when it comes to their diet, sleep, and exercise in particular.
When you get off a healthy track, it can be hard to hop back on. But there's one thing that can help, says Dr. Barbara Bauer with the Ohio State's Wexner Medical Center.
Just say no. That's sort of my slogan.
Bauer says to enjoy the holidays in moderation, but avoid excess food and alcohol.
I think sometimes we get pressured to eat or maybe drink things with family members or friends, but again, okay to say no.
Say yes to exercise. Continue being active this holiday season. Try to eat healthy throughout the day, especially before a gathering when you might indulge in a favorite treat. Next, focus on getting good quality sleep.
They go to sleep late, they wake up early, or a combination of those factors. You throw in some alcohol, maybe more alcohol than they typically consume. That can alter your sleep too.
Finally, Bauer says to lighten your holiday schedule. You don't need to go to every gathering or run yourself ragged trying to see everyone.
To try to minimize some of that stress that can come with holidays.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
And Dr. Bauer says this holiday season also takes some time to focus on yourself. She says self-care is another critical component of health, whether it's doing a hobby or just having some alone time. Do something that makes you happy over the holidays. Now, the National Transportation Safety Board hosted a summit this week to address health issues. Aviation, health, and federal experts came together to talk about barriers keeping pilots from seeking treatment. Skylar Henry brings us this report from Washington.
I made the decision to ground myself and start an antidepressant.
United Airlines pilot Troy Merritt says he made the difficult decision to step away from the cockpit 1 year ago to seek treatment for anxiety and depression. But months after starting medication, he has yet to get his medical certificate back from the FAA.
These evaluations, consultations, and medical visits have cost me over $8,000 out of pocket.
On Wednesday, the NTSB hosted a panel in Washington to evaluate the FAA's mental health policies, which some experts argue are outdated and cause pilots to lie about their conditions.
The pilot could have a letter from a world-renowned psychiatrist that says he's fit to fly, and that still will be ignored by the FAA.
Ann Saw and Alan Hauser say their son John, an aviation student who battled depression, suffered in silence before taking his own life 2 years ago.
We did not know he was suffering from feelings of emptiness and sadness prior to his death.
The FAA recently announced it's creating a new committee to help break down barriers that discourage pilots from reporting mental health issues.
The choice shouldn't be flying and not disclosing, flying and not seeking help and risking your own health.
On Tuesday, off-duty Alaska Airlines pilot Joseph Emerson was indicted on 83 misdemeanor counts of recklessly endangering another person after allegedly trying in October to shut off a passenger jet's engines mid-flight. The 44-year-old told authorities he was on magic mushrooms and struggled with depression and lack of sleep at the time. Skylar Henry, CBS News, Washington.
Now, Emerson is no longer charged with attempted murder, but still faces an additional charge of endangering an aircraft. Well, as we head into the holiday season, American food banks are desperately looking for help. Many are struggling to keep up with demand and find some of the most commonly donated items are hard to find. Chanel Call has that story.
Good morning. Every Wednesday, hundreds of people visit this East Harlem, New York food bank.
I get $100 in food stamps. That's not enough, and there's 5 of us.
Joanna Rios has been coming here for over 40 years to help feed her children and now grandchildren. When she gets inside, she's greeted with bags of cooking essentials.
Thank you so much. I'm the pantry lady. I love doing this because it puts food on my table.
But sometimes the things Rios and others really need are hard to find here.
I just wish that they give oil. We need that.
Food banks often get a lot of canned goods like these, but not everyone receiving these items has a way to open them.
If the can can't be opened, they can't use it, but they can always use other things.
Spices, I especially with all the cooking, you need spices.
I wish we could get like more milk.
Fish, chicken, vegetables, and fruit.
Jonah Gensler with the LSA Family Health Service says there's often a gap between what people give and what people actually need.
Don't clean out the back of your pantry. The sardines that are about to go bad, that's not really helpful. Think about the needs of growing families.
Gensler says dairy, fresh produce, and meat are in highest demand, but donating money can also be helpful.
We can buy in bulk and we can stretch out those resources.
Because even a small donation can make a big difference at the dinner table year-round. Chanel Call, CBS News, New York.
If you can't donate food or funds, you can share your time this holiday season. Many public pantries across the country welcome volunteers to help package and distribute those donations. So the holiday shopping frenzy is well underway, but if you're just starting to work on your list, there's some good news. Shopping experts say some of the best deals of the season are still to come. Bradley Blackburn has a look at the calendar.
Yeah, these are nice. For shoppers like Melissa Reeves, grabbing gifts for the holidays starts early.
Mission accomplished.
Really early.
I'm almost done. I start Christmas shopping in July.
But millions of Americans are just starting and looking for deals.
40% and more will definitely get my attention.
If you missed the discounts offered during Black Friday and Cyber Monday, expert shopper Kyle James says there's good news.
Oftentimes, the closer you get to Christmas, the more money you're going to save.
He's been tracking the calendar for years at ratherbeshopping.com and says there are key dates to know. Friday, December 8th, could see the best deals on tools and hardware with discounts of 20 to 30%. Saturday, December 9th, is good for tech like laptops and also for toys. But don't wait if you need a specific toy.
Typically, the longer you wait on the hot stuff, a lot of times you're going to end up on eBay, paying a premium.
December 14th is big for apparel and shoes as stores offer discounts and free shipping in time for Christmas.
If you wait till the 15th, 16th, you might have to pay a premium for shipping, or you might have to just pay the regular shipping fee, which is in many cases $7, $8.
And if you've bought your gifts already, don't forget about price adjustments. Many retailers will give you money back if you see an item go on sale later.
My thing is, the more you save, the more gifts you can get for yourself.
Savings advice that's a gift to every shopper this season. Bradley Blackburn, CBS News, New York.
All right, stay with us. We will be right back. All right, welcome back, everyone. Right now, the overnight temps are kind of up and down, but there are days just ahead when the temps will plummet. You can count on that. That means we are thinking about the 3 Ps, our pets, our plants, our pipes, but maybe it's time to add phone to that list. People may not realize, but our phones can get too cold and stop working if they're left, whether in the elements too long. Our friend Shawn Holsombeck from AT&T is here with some tips to keep in mind as the temperatures plummet. Great to have you back with us, Shawn, as always.
Thank you to have me.
Always good tips and other cool things that we'll talk about, but we're talking about the phone in cool temperatures. We've talked about the phone in hot temperatures before, but they can also get damaged in the cold?
Yes, they can. One of the things you want to, just like me and you, if we go outside, we want to bundle up. You want to make sure you got your phones bundled up.
Okay.
So a couple of things you can actually do is have a case, have a screen protector. That's going to help limit the exposure to the elements.
Okay.
You don't want water, rain, anything like that to get on your device. So that's one way to kind of keep those elements away from your phone.
When people are coming in and looking for cases, because sometimes people will buy one from the store, they may get some from another retailer online. Is there a specific brand or any kind that you prefer over another to give it that extra protection?
There's a lot of good cases out there. Bodyguard makes some good, Spec, OtterBox. All of those are really good cases to be able to use for them. As long as they're rated for the phone, they're going to be really good to kind of protect them.
All right. You also said keep the phones in your pocket when you can.
Yeah, a lot of people might not realize this, but if you put the phone in your pocket, that's actually keeping the phone a little warmer than having that cold breeze hitting the phone. So by doing that, that's going to kind of limit that exposure that we're talking about.
You said cases, but the screen protector is just as important as protecting the actual phone itself, right?
Yes.
Some of us walk around with a lot of cracked screens, don't we?
Yes, we do. That's probably one of the biggest things we see with devices coming into our stores is cracked screens. So that screen protector is meant to get cracked. So, and it's very easily get those replaced.
Well, let me ask you this. Let's say you don't have a screen protector on, and if by chance you do drop that phone or in some way it gets cracked, Is that an easy fix in the store, or are you going to be looking at getting a new device?
Well, one thing you want to do, we actually offer a protection plan for our devices that's going to actually cover screen replacement.
Okay.
So definitely less expensive to get the screen replaced than the entire phone.
All right, that makes a lot of sense. So back to kind of protecting in these elements, the cold elements. You say turn on the battery saving mode. How does that help?
Yeah, so what a lot of people might not realize is if you have a lot of things running in the background, the battery can get hot. So when you have that battery save mode on, what it's going to do is it's going to turn off all the non-essential things on the device, so the phone doesn't run hot, and so you don't have that extreme temperature change where it's really hot and then you're in a very cold area.
So sometimes when you have those things that are running in the background, those apps, one thing I know you can do, and you've told us about this before, is you go in there and sort of turn those things off, those things that are running in the background. But I don't think about it very often, maybe once a week I think to go in there and do that. But that helps save the battery.
It does.
All right. And also you say turn the phone off when you're coming out of the cold. How does this work?
Yeah, so one good thing is, like, if you're outside, it's really cold, what you can do is turn the phone off when you come in and let the phone get back to room temperature. So that way, again, it doesn't have that extreme temperature change, because you could see coming from outside inside probably a 30-degree temperature change sometimes. So that definitely will help protect your phone as well.
And if you turn your phone off, you're not going to miss a thing, right? So everything, even if a text message came through or you got a notification, once everything is powered back up, it'll be there, right?
Everything will come right to the phone after that.
All right. Well, it's important to know, because sometimes I don't ever want to restart my phone or anything, because I think I'm going to miss out on something. All right, all good advice. Take care of those phones during the cold weather. Appreciate this. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
All right, we'll be right back, everybody. Stay with us. All right, we're back. There is a potentially huge change in college sports. The head of the NCAA says all Division I schools should, for the first time, be allowed to compensate student athletes. Dana Jacobson reports on a plan to let those schools make the same endorsement deals that companies have with athletes.
I'm my own brand. Everyone is.
That was college football star Shedeur Sanders in 2021, partnering up with Beats by Dre headphones as part of a name, image, and likeness deal. Sanders is one of the top-ranked NIL athletes in the country, with a valuation of roughly $4 million. Now, if a dramatic new proposal from NCAA President Charlie Baker comes to pass, Division I schools could use NIL to pay student athletes directly. In what would be another monumental change, Baker suggested a new subdivision comprised of institutions with the highest resources, where schools would put at least $30,000 a year into an educational trust for each of at least half of their student athletes. Some estimates say the average total cost would be $6 million per school.
There's a lot that they're going to have to work through here.
Pat Forty is a senior writer for Sports Illustrated.
First of all, the schools have to decide for themselves, are we in on this? But then secondly, who's getting paid? If it's half the students within an athletic department, which half? Who gets it?
Baker's proposal, which would allow subdivision participants to create their own rules for things like roster size, recruitment, and NIL, comes amid longtime speculation that the so-called Power 5 conferences, considered to be the most competitive in Division I athletics, might try to break away from the NCAA to self-govern. But with the proposed changes,
the people that are going to benefit the most are going to be the institutions themselves, specifically the ones that play Power 5 football.
Joe Moglia is the chair of athletics at Coastal Carolina University and served as the football team's head coach for 6 seasons.
I think President Baker is looking at the writing on the wall. This is where it is 100% going anyway.
Choices make legends.
I will not be surprised to hear 5 years from now, we have a half dozen guys in college at 20 years old making $5 million.
Dana Jacobson, CBS News.
All right, coming up next, a conversation with singer-songwriter John Mayer. We'll be right back. We're back. Singer-songwriter John Mayer, who's on a mission of healing that goes beyond his music. When he's not making music, he has funded scientific studies on veterans' mental health. Mayer talks with Jamie Yukas about his Heart and Armor Foundation and its research.
I can feel the love I want. I can feel the love I need.
All alone on stage, John Mayer's solo tour is a showcase of his craft. The 7-time Grammy winner closed his sold-out tour at the Kia Forum in LA, where he charmed the crowd, responding to a fan's request to help with a gender reveal.
I wanna know the real thing about you, dear, so I can see you in a new light. It's a boy.
Engaging with audiences has kept Mayer motivated, not just in music, but also in charity work with veterans.
Did you always know that eventually being a rock star would lead you to do more in the world?
No, I didn't want anything but for me. That's okay. You can be young and want everything for you.
When did that change?
That's a good question. You just look around at some point and go, hey, this is good. What else now?
Between shows, this is where you'll find the rock star.
And this, by definition, is not a fresh problem.
For more than a decade, Mayer's been quietly pursuing research into veterans' mental health. He launched the nonprofit Heart and Armor with $3 million of his own money, funding studies such as the effect of trauma on women warriors and uncovering the biology of PTSD.
It just means you wondering where this all came from is over. And that's a burden that I think we can help lift off of people. Someone saying that the smell of diesel fuel at the gas station triggers a very anxious response because it's a sense memory from Iraq or Afghanistan. And that got me deeper and deeper into wanting to understand it.
Well, what you're doing is eliminating judgment and shame.
Yeah. If you can put treating mental health in the same bucket as a life-saving intervention in combat, I think you'd have a lot more people being able to visualize it as what it really is and not you're broken.
Mayer's connection to veterans began with a visit to Marine Corps Base Camp Lejeune in 2008, where he met soldiers suffering from post-traumatic stress.
It was not set up as a celebrity visit, so they didn't know I was coming, but it was the most natural way to meet these veterans. Just immediately start talking and hearing their stories.
I'm the boy in your other phone.
From that day forward, Mayer wanted to make more than just music.
The elephant in the room is that I'm a musician by trade, and I think the reflexive question that people will always have for me is, this is like a little thing you're doing just for the thumbs up. The more I do it, the more I want to do it, because I can see the traction.
Gerard Chacron is Heart and Armor's executive director.
What body of work are you most proud of that wouldn't have been possible without John's involvement?
The big one is looking into the internal circuitry of the brain and how the brain can change for the worse when it's traumatized, but also how it can recover and how the brain can get better.
Heart and Armor includes community outreach. Volunteers like former Army Sergeant Aundrea Rogers can recall what it's like to suffer alone. In Iraq in 2003, he witnessed unthinkable horrors. Once home, he couldn't cope.
Alcoholism, substance abuse.
Just to stay numb?
Just to stay numb and not have to deal with reality. So suicide thoughts. Many times I took prescription pills and just was like, this is it.
Did you know you had PTSD?
I did not. After seeing just a lot of bodies and people on fire, cars burning with people in them buses, small town boy from Mississippi, I wouldn't have never thought I'd see something like this.
But with treatment and the support of Heart and Armor, Rogers went from homeless to healing to now helping others.
What does Heart and Armor mean to you?
It means so much. The insurmountable support that they give me to serve. Service is my medicine,
Mayer covers all the overhead, so every dollar raised goes to research.
Slow dancing in a burning room.
An intimate show with Ed Sheeran brought in $500,000. To date, the money raised has helped publish 25 peer-reviewed studies. But you see the heart of the nonprofit when Mayer makes sure to meet their volunteers.
My buddy Jason and I listen to Continuum literally every single night.
That's why we're waiting.
Continuum was released in 2006. The songs help soothe former Marine Spencer McGuire while serving in Afghanistan, where constant mortar fire led to crippling PTSD.
I felt like I was always on the verge of being attacked. That someone was trying to cause harm to me or my loved ones.
Gravity.
McGuire had a lyric from Gravity, "Keep me where the light is," inked on his arm.
My mom always kind of spoke to me about how it's really important to stay within the light. You got to fight for it sometimes. The darkness can be overwhelming, but you know, if you persevere, then you can get there.
Oh, half of my heart's got a grip on the situation.
He's sold more than 20 million albums worldwide, and his songs have had billions of streams. But at 46, his definition of success has a new meaning.
It means that this is no longer about record sales or fame, but it's just down to touching people with music, getting people through tough nights with your music. From this point until my last breath, we do this as a calling.
One of the studies the organization looked at was why Black veterans weren't responding as well to treatment as white veterans when it comes to PTSD. Well, it turns out there are layers of racial trauma that had never been considered before. It's that type of information the organization hopes to look at, receive more data, and then be able to use it with the broader population. Jamie Yukas, CBS News, Los Angeles.
All right, stay with us. We'll be right back to wrap things up. All right, stay connected with us. We'd love to hear from you. Enjoy the rest of your day. We'll see you next time.